All right. This will be the first episode of Roast My Replay. Icy submitted it, wanting to know what he could have done better in this 5v5. Um, he's versus Fuzzy in an X-Wing, and his teammate is Q-Fang. Well, let's jump right in. Fuzzy, they're both admin. Fuzzy in X-Wing, and you know that before the game starts. This is played on 1.32.2. So if some changes are made later, it is what it is. All right, Civic Lab first. Couple of things already. I like starting with 2 extra scouts, especially in this matchup, because it's very important to know whether your opponent, the other advent, goes for the Civic or the military homeworld lab. So if you start with more scouts, you'll know that sooner. Okay, so I already watched that replay, so I have the power of hindsight, and I'm not playing right now, so I have the power of not having to do anything and just think. So obviously the decision making would be better, regardless of skill levels. Just saying that some mistakes by IC are pretty intense, but it's a lot easier to criticize when you're not playing and when you have the power of hindsight. Okay, so here it's very important to get the consumables. So Plasma Nova is the most important one, as it pretty much destroys enemy light frigates. Shield battery is pretty useful as Radiance. Every shield battery saves like 2 light frigates, and you get 2 uses, so 4 light frigates for the price of like 1.5. And the antimatter pod is useful if he's versus another Radiance. If he's versus an outsider, it's wasted. So you can start with both of those. And if you know that your opponent is gonna go Radiance, you go with that one. If you don't know what your opponent does, you can gamble it. And if you know they start outsider, there's no point. So the reason why you need it versus Radiance is that you're gonna be draining the antimatter of the other Radiance, and they're gonna be draining yours. And the first one to run out of antimatter is kind of fucked. So yeah, here no consumable, which is pretty big mistake. I jumps in. So here you wanna send the Radiance here, which is not gonna be done. But there's no reason to not send the Radiance here. Also, you can colonize right away. You have more than enough firepower to kill the bombing frigate in time. So you can colonize the moment you come in, yeah. So, some delay on there. The scouts weren't microed to go down here, which is pretty important to know what's gonna happen. So here we stop building fleet. And we're not gonna have supply for another 2 minutes. So one thing you can do is move your factories for quicker reinforcements. It shouldn't matter too much for the light factory, but it should matter for the greater factory. So for like your first 3-4 guardians or a second capship. So yeah, here we spent like a whole minute more than we needed. Another thing I don't like here, you can just send the radiance down and the light frigates and the colony frigate up. There's no reason to send the radiance with the stuff together. He might have spent 1 influence point guessing one of them. Not sure. Maybe this one was guessed. Or this one. Alright. Once again, you can colonize when you jump in. You don't have to wait. Also, the upgrades are the wrong order. You normally want commerce first. Alright. Oh yeah, you also want laser before shield, but that's not doesn't matter too much. Let's speed it up till something interesting happens. So now we know that our Ormald is scouted. So we know that Fuzzy knows that we have um, the military one. Alright, right here, we scout Fuzzy's cap ship. I don't know how quickly Ace saw it. Icy saw it. But yeah, this is a moment we should be able to know that we're fighting Radiance. Also, our Radiance is spec'd completely wrong. We don't have the right abilities at all. I don't know if it's because Icy didn't know what ability you're supposed to get versus Radiance, or he thought it was versus Alcyon, or he just doesn't know. So, in that case, um, if he thought that's what you're supposed to have versus Radiance, then no. You're supposed to max out the main antimatter ASAP. And if you didn't know whether it was versus Alcyon or Radiance, you can just leave your points empty. You don't need to upgrade them. And then when you scout your versus a Radiance, you spend your point. Once again, no consumables, which is problematic. And once again, we're waiting too long to colonize. So a couple of things here too. Assume if we had made some scouts, we could leave this scout with the Radiance to see whether Fuzzy would make factories here, here, or here. And that distinction is pretty important. But since we only have 2 scouts, we're gonna have to try to find a home wall to know what Fuzzy's doing. Okay. This is useless. No idea why we are researching that. So top priority here is either Guardians, Shield Burst, Supply had we been spamming, but we haven't been spamming, or Repair. This doesn't do anything. We scouted the normal, we saw its hostility, so we have to respect our opponent. They can actually fight us. So we have to think, do we want our factory here or here? Here is like the safe play, and here is the semi-risky play, because we know he's here and he's probably here. I think I would still make them here. Like I would colonize. Okay, finally we're colonizing ASAP, and make the 2 factories here top priority. Because the factories will speed up your reinforcement, but the repair upgrade is super useful. It will keep your radiance alive. So this is greedy. There is no, like, Fuzzy was here 4 minutes ago. So he's done taking this, he's probably here, and he's made a couple factories, assuming he's making his factory here. So there's 0% chance we can take a good fight here. Especially that we haven't been spamming since the start of the game, and we're down, like, we should have like 30, and we have 14. So no reason to go here. Also, I do not like mining upgrades. That was a lot of money spent for 1 crystal per second. That is not going to be useful. Okay, so you notice the radiance. And here we realize that we're in trouble. Because our Radiance is lower level. Our Radiance doesn't have any consumable. Neither does Fuzzy's, by the way. But we have the wrong abilities too. So we just need to run. We cannot fight here. And this is where we start the factory ASAP here. Which are going to be particularly expensive since we got the crystal mining. So we just need to run. There is no reason to stay here. But if you want to try to win the fight, this is not the way. The way is to leave. Ow. The way is to leave your Radiance attacking his Radiance. Especially that we were pretty lucky and our Radiance was behind his. So we might actually win the fight from being behind and shoot. The problem is we don't know whether Fuzzy has reinforcements coming. And considering he just took those, he probably does. Let's do a bit of God vision. Nope, no factories. Okay. But there definitely should be factories here from Fuzzy. So as I see, we should assume there's factory here or here. And then we cannot win this fight. I have no idea why we're chasing this. It does not matter. Even if we wanted to prevent colonization of the planet, Fuzzy could just get nanites. So yeah, here we lost a massive amount of light frigates for no reason. Because they've been fighting alone with the cap ship out of position. We really need to run. We're down fleet. We're down in level. And we don't have any tier 2 upgrades anyway that would help us. So there's no way we're ahead in upgrades either. Also, now that the Radiance is finally out of antimatter, this would be the time to try to kill this with light frigates. But Fuzzy's probably just gonna jump it out. Oh yeah, another thing. Why are we fighting here? Like, even if you wanted to keep the planet, you would want to fight here. For a couple of reasons. Mostly that Fuzzy's reinforcement will be slower, our reinforcements will be faster. And if we need to retreat our cap ship, it will be faster. And if Fuzzy needs to retreat his cap ship, it will be slower. So yeah, here we lost the fight. Unexpectedly, because we had less fleet, less level, less upgrades. There was no redeeming factor that could have let us win. And we're gonna lose a cap ship. Shield burst might have saved the cap ship. Might have saved the cap ship had it been done, but yeah, and now the game is completely over. We lost our cap ship, we're completely free. Yeah, we don't have frontal factories. And we are going into Unity for some reason. I don't get it. It might be for clans, but right now the top priority would be to get a lot of light frigates. It's like here you're saying that his spawn was much faster, but it wasn't. Like this is 2 jumps and third jump, and this is 4 jump. Like it should have been similar. You fight over here. But regardless, who's faster doesn't matter because neither of you tried to make any factories. Maybe Fuzzy did. No, neither of you tried to make any factories. So the fact that you were faster or not wouldn't matter in the slightest. So I'm recall. Maybe that was for the Radiance, but yeah. We should cancel this upgrade. It's just gonna give more XP to the Radiance and cost us money. The The whole point of Guardians is to keep your cap ships alive. If you don't have cap ships, don't make Guardians. They are not cost effective in light frigate versus light frigates. Or, I guess, light frigates versus drone host. So now that we're completely lost, we need to think as how do we come back? Looking for artifact is definitely a way to try to come back. But in fives, these planets cannot have artifacts, so that's not gonna work. Also, or maybe we're just trying to make another cap ship, which is fine, but we're losing on fleet first. So as long as we're losing on fleet, making more cap ship is not useful. You want to be winning on fleet first, and then try to make the other cap to come back into the cap ships. Now our ally is gonna come to help. We have no idea what Red's doing because we have 0 scouting. For all we know, Red could be over here. They are. Because we haven't made any scouts since the start of the game. Or used clairvoyance. Right now we're researching a bunch of things. This is a waste of money. This is mandatory. And this is not worth it either. Speed up a bit, nothing's happening. So we obviously cannot fight here for a while. Because their fleet is significantly stronger. Now we lose vision. So we know that he could jump here, or he could jump here. So you really don't want to be on the edge. Because if Fuzzy jumps here, you lose every single light frigates. And they won't even be able to run away because of, I forgot what it's called. The Radiance ability. Animosity. So, and also, you won't be able to jump to help green. So just position your fleet here. Same for green. Position your fleet here. I made a revelation. That finished before we got the tech, so completely wasted. We're finally doing consumables though. So here, Fuzzy could jump and nuke your fleet. Fuzzy's doing group jump, which I'm not here to roast, but it's a mistake. And if he didn't, your fleet's extra dead. Man, the game is loud. Okay. So this is a losing fight, obviously. But you can't run. Green's coming. Had Fuzzy been using consumables, this would be a even worse fight. He should have animosity before running. Save his care. Alright, now the Arcas are coming in. Once again, and no factories from anyone. Do people hate making factories? And this should have been turned already, like 20 minutes ago, but it's not because you didn't do it 20 minutes ago that you can't do it right now. Kana Kara is smart. They're the most expensive thing, and they're very vulnerable to light frigates. One thing I would have liked though is to keep this with the radiance to like keep it far away from the fleet as possible. So that it so that way you can chase here. while the radiance is stuck here. I don't even know why we're bombing here, because we didn't make the factories like here before. Yeah, so imagine if we're chasing, but the radiance is stuck here. I guess the fleet didn't stick with the radiance. But the fleet should stick with the radiance. Okay. I don't know why we're researching beam. I'm guessing Illims, but there's no point into going to Illims here. We're facing carrier light frigate. So mistakes here too. You want to target the high level cap, but here it's kind of complicated because you kind of have to follow green, what green is doing, and I'm pretty sure green is Chinese, so in my communication might be hard. So we're not gonna criticize the team micro too much because you kind of have to follow what your teammate's doing. Because it's more important to be doing the same thing as your teammate than to be. This was animosity, by the way. That's why they stopped. It's more important to follow your teammate's lead than to do the right thing. Because then at least one of the fleet is useless. We're not getting the consumables back. So, as for Qfeng, he has no vision. But he kept making scout. He would see X-Wings here. Or like even when X-Wing was around here. And then could have went garrisons and everything would be fine. Back to this fight. No idea why we're researching Chaos. Holy fuck. They're bad. And it's not because our opponents make a mistake, then we want to do the same mistakes. I guess it's because of all the radiances. You're thinking that at least the carrier will be able to bypass. The problem is a single Alcyon will render all of them useless. Once again, could have kept the cap ship stuck behind with the revelation. You're using group jump. Never do that, because then you're gonna chase so much slower than you would have, and then your teammate's fighting alone. So you're missing a lot of DPS for no reason. Do not use group jump ever. Ever, ever, ever. And this is connected now, which is useful. Fuzzy's doing well. He obviously got feed for the radiances, but considering he's 1v2, it's fair. I don't know why we're going tier 3 and 400 supply. You go tier 3 when you're like 900. Like, we need to max out. Because our fleet is ridiculously small. And we're serving the other eyes. Makes sense. If you finish the last survey, you could get another revelation, which wouldn't be bad, but. Alright, so I'm guessing here Q-Fang noticed X-Wing, so he's gonna go all the way back. And then you have to decide what you want to do. So you can either make factories turrets here. Uh, you have no idea what Fuzzy's doing. So, because the only useful unity points would have been clairvoyance. And that would be pretty useful right now. Okay, so also massive mistakes. You know Fuzzy's fleet stronger than yours, and as far as you know, it's here. So thinking all of that, you're either doing surveying and then ditching and going back here, or you're gonna be doing logistic and then 2 military upgrade and pump 5 turrets and 2 factories. So I'm gonna point out the pretty big mistakes of Fuzzy here, because it's not to roast Fuzzy or anything, it's just because you have to exploit your opponent's mistakes in this game. And Fuzzy doesn't have a single Guardian, which means his Radiants are quite vulnerable to just pure firepower and turrets. So I wonder if he pinged each different purge or he pinged the same one 5 times. Either way, annoying. You need, like, assuming you're gonna wanna keep this planet, which is an assumption to be made since you got the money upgrades, then you want defenses. So you want your 2 factories and then turrets. Also, we got tier 3 and didn't research a single thing. I don't like Ilums. I don't see the point of Ilums. There's just, Fuzzy has too many light frigates. All the Ilums will die. They're not good versus the carrier, and they're not particularly good versus the Radiances either. So alright, so X-Wing is coming to you. I'm guessing you have no way of knowing that. Yep. I love how we played the whole game with 1 factory. Alright, you see X-Wing here. Now we don't have access to player cam, so maybe Icy was looking at something else, but the moment you see this, and especially this, just recall everything. Because you really don't want to engage Fuzzy and Wing at the same time. I don't know where you're walking when you have recall. Just recall. I think you realize you had recall, so you're gonna recall your fleet here. So I have the power of hindsight and already watched the replay, but there was no reason to not recall here. Also, start turrets. You're floating a lot, and you're obviously gonna need more turrets and yeah, more factories. Also, I have no idea where we were researching civic upgrades when we were down in fleet. So here I know you're trying to save the Progen, so consumables, but yeah, all the squadrons should be on the Radiance. Also, you shouldn't be jumping there because you know Fuzzy's there, but no turrets, no extra factories for repair. I don't even think you have repair research. Yeah, you don't have repair research. Somehow got manned before repair research. Like you're dead. There's no point. Also, even if you had a bigger fleet than Fuzzy's, it's big F, you could just bomb your planet and ditch. Um, so yeah, you're not winning that fight, so cancel these and try to keep your fleet alive somewhere. I know the game ends soon, but like Yufeng managed to survive. I don't know why you're fighting. Like even if you like want to quit, you can tell your whole fleet to run away, and at least if someone takes over, they'll have your fleet. And because you're just feeding XP, and that's like not well mannered. So here we don't know because you left, but we don't know whether your team played on or no. Um, so it's like I don't know. You could have ran your fleet and either keep playing, or if you didn't want to keep playing, then maybe someone would have took over. Or regardless, at least not feeding XP. All right, so that will be it for the first episode of Roast My Replay. If you want your replay roasted, contact me on Discord, and I'll see you in the next episode of Roast My Replay.